Hey everyone, welcome back to Criminologist. Today we're diving into the baffling case of Kyle Fleischmann, a compassionate and friendly Elon University graduate who vanished without a trace in 2007. This story is packed with mystery, unanswered questions, and chilling possibilities. After attending a comedy show with friends and family in 2007, Elon University graduate Kyle Fleischmann, known for his compassion and friendliness, vanished without a trace. Surveillance footage captured him leaving a bar and walking towards a nearby pizza shop, but his subsequent actions remain a mystery. This is the puzzling case of Kyle Fleischmann. Born to Barbara and Dick Fleischmann, Kyle Fleischmann spent his formative years in Charlotte, North Carolina, alongside his younger brother and sister. Growing up, he was described by his friends and family as generous, kind, and well-liked by all. He attended Charlotte Catholic High School and graduated in 2002. He embarked on his academic journey at Elon University, pursuing a degree in business administration. While in college, he held the peer-elected position of vice president in his fraternity, the Kappa Alpha Order. Despite his fraternal obligations, he still actively contributed to the Boys and Girls Club and the Special Olympics throughout his 4 years in university. After graduating from Elon in 2006, Kyle initially moved back into his parents' home in Charlotte, North Carolina. In 2007, he moved into a South Charlotte condo with 2 roommates and began working as a healthcare recruiter at Maxim Healthcare Services, regarded as dependable. Those who knew him say that despite his many hours working, he always made time to enjoy life and his family to the fullest. Kyle had a wide and diverse circle of friends, but while social and charming with the ladies, those close to him say that at the time their nightmare started, he did not have a girlfriend. In the autumn of 2007, when Kyle was 24, his mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which impacted the family deeply. Kyle was close with his mother and assured her that they would beat it together in an effort to uplift his mother's spirits. Kyle invited her to see it. Dane Cook comedy show at the Bobcats Arena on November 8, 2007. Kyle's sister Noel also decided to accompany her mother and brother that same night. Kyle also made plans with some of his friends in order to meet up at the comedy show and have a drink. The November air was recalled as being particularly crisp and cold, with the nighttime temperatures reaching below 32 degrees Fahrenheit on November 8, 2007. Prior to the comedy show, Kyle and his friends gathered at the house of his best friend Daniel Scanelli. As they planned on drinking alcohol, they chose to call a taxi instead of driving their cars into the city to see the show. Kyle left his car at Daniel's house, and after having some drinks and food at a local bar, they headed to see Dane Cook set. Kyle's mother and sister joined them at the show, and they all reportedly had a great time together. Kyle was described as being in a cheerful mood throughout after the show. Barbara and Noel headed home, thanking Kyle for the wonderful night after saying goodbye to his family for what, unbeknownst to them, would be the last time ever. Kyle and his friends continued their evening by visiting the popular sports bar, the Buckhead Saloon, located in uptown Charlotte, known for attracting a younger crowd. The bar was bustling as usual that Thursday night. Kyle's friends report that the evening was filled with revelry. They drank, enjoyed conversations with friends, and mingled with new friends at the bustling bar throughout the night. Kyle's friend observed that he was never excessively intoxicated and that he appeared to be in high spirits. As the clock neared midnight, Kyle's companions spit their farewells and gradually departed, leaving him in the company of his best friend. Daniel, when 1 a.m. arrived, decided it was time to call it a night and asked Kyle if he was coming along. Kyle expressed his desire to extend the evening a bit longer and assured Daniel that he would catch a cab later to retrieve his car. Little did Daniel know that this fleeting moment would be the last time that he would see his friend. That early morning, Daniel woke up to find a missed call from Kyle. Initially, he did not think much of the missed call, as Kyle did not leave a voicemail. He tried calling him back, but his phone went straight to his voicemail. Daniel says that he assumed Kyle did not pick up his call due to him being deep in slumber, still recovering from the night, however. As the morning unfolded, Daniel noticed Kyle's car was still parked in front of his residence. This was unlike his best friend, who historically had been the responsible one. And that's when Daniel says he began to worry. He tried calling Kyle again but said the calls went straight to voicemail. He then called his best friend's roommate, who told him that Kyle had not returned home that night. At first, Daniel was hesitant to call Kyle's parents, as he did not want to worry them eventually, though he contacted them thinking Kyle might be at their home upon further conversation. However, Daniel was alarmed to learn that Kyle's family had also received missed calls from the 24-year-old early in the pre-dawn hours of November 9th. Due to the nocturnal hour, none of the family members contacted had heard the calls, and they said they had not spoken to Kyle since the night before. After many attempts, they reported back that they too were unable to get in touch with him. Despite this, the family tried not to panic. It was entirely possible Kyle had had too much to drink and had slept on somebody's couch for the night, so they waited to see if Kyle would arrive at work on time. However, when Kyle did not show up to his workplace, the family reported him missing to the police. However, the family learned that as Kyle was an adult, they had to wait 48 hours before he could be reported missing. In the meantime, the family decided to launch their own investigation. They hired a private investigator, and Daniel created a missing person Facebook page in order to help spread the word. Within 2 weeks, the Facebook page had 60,000 people. Following the case, the police initiated their investigation finally by examining the bar's CCTV footage and interviewing patrons who were present at the time with the assistance of the witnesses and the surveillance recordings. The detectives were able to establish a timeline of events according to the CCTV footage. After Daniel departed at 1 a.m., Kyle was seen conversing with a woman at the bar. It appeared that the woman was at the establishment with her boyfriend. Subsequently, Kyle and the woman shared a dance, which evidently displeased her boyfriend. The video footage also captured the moment when the man, accompanied by 2 friends, approached Kyle, leading to a verbal exchange. While the situation did not escalate into a physical altercation, and while the conversation remained relatively brief, this resulted in the man and the woman leaving the establishment at 2 a.m. Kyle placed a call to his sister. However, she did not answer, and he did not leave a message, leaving the purpose of the call a mystery. Shortly afterwards, Kyle left the bar as seen in surveillance footage at 2:20 a.m., seemingly forgetting both his coat and his debit card like many other patrons. Kyle had handed his debit card to the bartender when he arrived, and throughout the night his drinks were added to his tab. The bartender mentioned that it was quite common for people to overlook their cards at closing time, leading to the possibility that Kyle genuinely forgot about the open tab. Many speculate that Kyle may have been more heavily intoxicated than Daniel had previously thought, which could explain both his oversight regarding his debit card and why he forgot his coat even in the 32-degree Fahrenheit weather outside. However, the private investigator employed by the family offered an alternate perspective, proposing that Kyle's decision to leave his belongings behind may not have been due to intoxication, but rather a deliberate choice to depart the bar swiftly, according to the private investigators. Theory: Kyle may have wanted to catch up with the woman he was dancing with and had hoped to return to the bar to collect his belongings later. It is also possible he left in a hurry to avoid any potential additions or confrontations. The precise motive behind his actions remains speculative and open to interpretation. Nonetheless, the next confirmed sighting of Kyle was at 2:30 a.m. Kyle can be seen walking down College Street towards a pizza shop called Fuel Pizza. The camera footage showed Kyle walking from right to left. However, due to the grainy nature of the footage, it was hard to make out if Kyle was excessively intoxicated, although he did not appear to be stumbling. An employee of Fueled Pizza told police that Kyle had come into his restaurant and ordered an extreme slice of pizza with all the toppings. The pizza place did not have CCTV, but Kyle's father confirmed that his son often ordered pizza in the extreme style. So when he heard about the pizza with everything on it, he was confident it was Kyle. The employee did not notice if Kyle left alone or with somebody else as the restaurant became busy with late-night customers. After leaving the restaurant, Kyle made several phone calls at 2:42 a.m. He called the Buckhead Saloon, possibly to inquire about his left belongings. The call lasted only 10 seconds. Unfortunately, no one answered. Kyle then proceeded to make 4 calls to his father's office phone between 2:42 a.m. and 2:57 a.m. This was strange, as Kyle would have known his father would not be in his office during those very early hours. As he had done in the past, Kyle neglected to leave any voicemails for the people he called according to his cell phone records. Kyle was still in the uptown Charlotte area at the time of the calls. The next confirmed sighting came from a cab driver who claimed he saw Kyle walking on North Davidson Street, approaching 110 block near Hunter Wrecker Service around 3:25 a.m. The cab driver recalled, Kyle had no coat on and appeared to be intoxicated. Kyle was not a newcomer to Charlotte, and locals say he should have known the area, often referred to as NODA, to be wrought with drug dealers and gang members who operated the area with a violently heavy hand. In addition to the dangerous nature of the neighborhood, the area was in the opposite direction from Kyle's condo. Shortly after the cab driver's sighting at 3:28 a.m., Kyle called his best friend Daniel, but the duration of the call was only 4 seconds. Subsequently, at 3:29 a.m., he attempted to contact his roommate, but the call lasted only 6 seconds, just like in the previous calls. Kyle did not leave any voicemail. It is assumed that his phone battery was almost dead when he placed the last 2 calls. Based on phone records, all activity on Kyle's phone ceased by 4 a.m. There has been no activity on it since investigators were perplexed as to why, after leaving the Bucket Saloon, Kyle made a total of 8 calls without leaving a single voicemail. The purpose behind these calls has long been the subject of speculation. Some theorize that he may have been in distress and was seeking help, while others suggest that he could have been attempting to arrange for a ride until further evidence is uncovered. The reason for his calls remains a mystery. A massive search for Kyle continued for over a week. It included firefighters, police, and nearly 300 volunteers, including Kyle's panicked friends and family. But despite their best efforts, no leads were uncovered. His family distributed flyers all over the city and also asked for the assistance of public safety dogs. Incorporated Public Safety Dogs, Inc. is a nonprofit organization founded by Mike Craig and Linda Dunn, who train a variety of scent dogs to assist law enforcement in search and rescue. Mike and Linda took up the case and used the scent from the coat left behind the bar in order to search for Kyle. Using 2 separate dogs, they started chasing the scent from Kyle's last known whereabouts, Fuel Pizza. Both dogs quickly picked up a scent trail and headed towards College Street. The dogs continued to trace Kyle's scent in a wide loop, suggesting that Kyle had walked in a large circle, possibly to evade someone who he may have believed was following him. The scent chair led them to North Davidson Street and eventually to a small bridge connecting to Cordelia Park, which is about 2 miles away from the Bucket. Saloon Cordelia Park, located in the Villa Heights neighborhood of North Charlotte, spans 24 acres and is a popular destination during the day. However, at night the park attracts a rougher crowd, including drug dealers and gang members. Kyle's family is skeptical that he would have willingly gone to that area at night, considering the potential risk and danger to the handlers of the dogs. Mike and Linda initially searched the park for Kyle, but they called off their search as it was evening, and they noticed several suspicious individuals. They resumed their search the following morning, and the dogs picked up the scent from the park, leading them to a nearby construction site situated at 16th Street and North Davidson, just 200 yards away from Cordelia Park. Upon arriving at the construction site, Linda sensed what she could only describe as, quote, the scent of death, raising the possibility that that location might have been used to dispose of Kyle's body. The construction site was in the process of building a new apartment complex, and the dirt was freshly overturned. While there was a possibility that someone may have chosen the construction site to conceal the body, it was equally plausible that the scent originated from bodily fluids that did not belong to Kyle. While the scent dogs thoroughly searched the area, they were unable to discover any significant leads concerned. The authorities were summoned, and they brought in cadaver dogs specifically trained not to detect the scent of a live person, but that of human remains. The entire construction site was then meticulously searched by police using ground-penetrating radar and by physically poking the dirt with sticks. However, despite their thorough efforts, nothing of significance was found. Eventually, construction resumed at the site, potentially erasing any further traces or clues that may have been present during the investigation. Kyle's bank accounts have remained untouched ever since his disappearance. It is believed Kyle only had about $6 cash on him at the time he went missing, Despite extensive searches, no trace of Kyle Fleischmann was ever found. There have been a number of theories, but none have been confirmed. Kyle's family has expressed frustration over the lack of progress in the case, believing that people with vital information are currently withholding it. Kyle's father, Dick, says that contrary to various theories and speculations that have swirled around town, he believes his son was victim to a random crime. He postulates that his son was drunk and disoriented and may have wandered up North Davidson Street in the middle of the night. He wonders if someone driving by spotted what seemed to be an easy target for a robbery, and if that person or group of people may have killed Kyle and dumped his body in what was then a construction site at North Davidson and 16th Street. The family eventually left Charlotte in 2010 and moved to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and then to Florida, where they currently live at the time of his disappearance. Kyle was 24 years old and stood at a height of 6 feet. He weighed approximately 180 pounds and had brown hair and green eyes at the time he was carrying his cell phone, wallet, and a set of keys. Kyle was not known to have any enemies. If you have any information about Kyle, please call the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department at area code 704-336-7600. What do you think happened to Kyle Fleischmann? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing cases from Criminologist. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.